While everybody else has been out pulling shards this weekend, I just made one of the biggest impacts to my free-to-play account that I will ever make. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and I am so excited to make today's video. This has been a long time coming. This was a project that's been in the work for years, probably. Well, technically, yes, because you're working on this from the very first day that you play Raid Shadow Legends, basically. That is Faction Wars. It's done, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, an Eternal Soulstone, and I have Lydia. Now, some of you are like, Roadblock, why did you pull her? You should have saved her for clan versus clan or X, Y, and Z. Yeah, no, I'm not going to save her. It's a little bit more important to me right this second to be able to use her sooner rather than later. It's actually really important to me because she is going to make such an impact on my Chimera team to the point where that team basically has just found instant success. Not necessarily going to be like the highest score, but I will be able to complete it beyond the Viper boss on Brutal, which currently I can't because I currently don't have a consistent way of block active buffs, at least not somebody that's leveled, but Lydia makes perfect sense to level and build. She's also going to upgrade my Hydra teams as well because she is going to bring decreased defense and weaken, also bringing strengthen and increased speed, and occasional block buffs as well. Also, the fear will be good. It's only an A1 fear, but it will be good for the Ram form in Chimera. I'm just so excited, and truthfully, listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. I probably could have done this a long time ago, so I kind of wanted to talk about that today. I have a tendency to put things off. I make a lot of videos about this from time to time, but this one I really regret putting off because, well, honestly, it didn't take me very long. I started the account back up, a couple weeks ago, and all I did was dedicate a little bit of time. I just put a little bit of gear on some champions, a little bit of time, and suddenly I'm able to get Lydia within a few weeks. And that's massive. I can't overstate. It's impossible to overstate how massive this is because it really is one of the most important things that you can do on your account. Obviously, first most important thing is getting Arbiter. She will change the way your account works. Once you have Arbiter, a lot of things become easier after that point. The next big step is going to be Mithrala, right? Mithrala brings Hex for Hydra. She brings a full team cleanse with a strengthen and a big shield. And of course, she has amazing benefits from her accuracy and her resistance through accuracy, right? And then you have the ones along the way. You've got Lamasu. You might have, who I'm getting closer on now, but you might have something like Empress, right? So there are a lot of options. There's a lot of champions that you get along the way, but I think Lydia is the most impactful one, mainly because of Chimera. If it wasn't for Chimera, there might be a few other champions who could potentially do what she does. Not a lot of them, and I've had one of them for a little bit. In fact, I used them to this very day, and that's Suzerain Catone, where he brings weaken and decreased defense. However, it's not 100% like Lydia's is, right? So he doesn't quite do that. And obviously she has her passive, which I haven't even talked about yet. So Lydia will lock down reviving. She's just a powerhouse of a champion, preventing reviving and doing all those things. She's my new decreased defense champion in a lot of areas of the game. Not quite for PvP though, because I actually prefer to have Odin on my main team. But on some of my lower level teams, she would be great decreased defense champion, and she's going to be my next 6-star. And to be completely honest with you, we have a champion training event for one more day. I will probably have her 6-star very, very quickly. The only thing that I will need is books for her. Obviously, I have 5, but I'm not going to book her today. That I will wait to book her. Well, I don't know. I may have to book her earlier for cooldown reduction so I can make sure. Yeah, especially with double cooldown on that. Man, she likes to read quite a bit. I'm not going to have enough books for her anyways. So I'll probably level her and still use her in Chimera because I have to. But not being able to book her is a bit of a problem. And I don't necessarily want to invest 5 books and for very little return. So I will wait until I've accumulated more legendary books. We accumulated 2 legendary books today by completing 2 more faction wars. That was the reward for stage 21. So, and obviously I collected her right away, and we do get a few champion chase points. There is a legendary book. This might change my tune, right? I was very adamant about like, I'm not pulling. And I still feel that way. I don't see necessarily the value in pulling for this particular event, but to be able to get a legendary book, or maybe even 2 legendary books when I just got Lydia, that kind of changes things a little bit, truthfully. Not enough to use my sacred shards, but I could easily pull these group of ancient shards and possibly get a legendary book. So let me know what you guys think. How much longer do we have on the boosted summons? We have another 2 days on the boosted summons. So let me know what you guys think. Should I pull my ancient shards during this event to get these legendary books? Do you think that, you know, how do you feel about that? Because the champion chase, does this go into Monday? So it's 3 days. It's at least, yeah, okay. So I'll also get some points from primal shards, and I've got fragment summons to pull too. So I actually have a really good shot at those legendary books. Now, previously I didn't value those legendary books, right, when I made my other video, because I didn't have anybody to put books into. And I had a feeling I would get Lydia, but there's no guarantees, right? So what I said in the moment is important, but being flexible is also a big part of raid. You don't always want to put yourself in a box and say, well, I said I wasn't going to do it, so I'm not going to do it. If it makes sense, if there's logic behind your decision, usually it's a good reason to do things. And I feel like if I do pull my ancients, I should still have enough stuff saved up for a future fusion. So I probably will, but I want your guys' thoughts on this. So please let me know in the comments. Do you think I should pull my shards? I'm going to try to read those comments before I record tomorrow's video and hopefully get your guys' thoughts on that, because I don't know, I feel guilty since I made a video saying I'm not pulling, nothing's gonna change my mind, and then I'm like, oh hey, I'm changing my mind. I feel guilty about that, right guys? I don't wanna be known for misleading or anything like that, but situations have changed. Clearly I need to book this champion after I level them and build them. And what's in the champion training event? Maybe, I don't think there's any books in there, not any of legendary value. So, but I definitely want to level her up and get to work, because Chimera is one of the most important areas that I need to progress in. And I say need because I do. I'm being held back pretty hard by not being able to do Chimera right now, or at least not at a reasonable difficulty. Not only by fragments of Empress, but also just in general getting the resources to get relics. Because if you look at my relic stash, my collection, even with equipped, is pretty weak. I have 1 legendary, and that's it. I have 2 with Cat's Gaze that I got for free. I have 2 legendaries, that's it, which is going to be really low for a lot of you because you've been doing this for a lot longer than I have. I took a big break almost right after Chimera came out because it took so long to do. It was so frustrating and my scores were so awful. Still doing hard is the best that I can do. I can't do brutal right now. I should be able to do brutal with Lydia. So getting those books will help me be able to do brutal even more with Lydia, keeping those cooldowns up so that she can utilize her abilities. I do think it might be a good idea to pull those shards. But again, let me know in the comments, guys. I just wanted to share with you the progress on the free-to-play. This is a massive milestone for this free-to-play account because I did not have good progress in Faction Wars a few days ago. And now I'm finally done with it. Feels great. And my biggest advice to you, from my biggest takeaway that I want your takeaway to be, is that if you're struggling with Faction Wars, give it a shot, right? If you're like me and you were just trying to get by with some champions who weren't leveled, just to demonstrate here, you can see like Biggin was only 5 stars, but previously Ignatius was 5 stars and not ascended, I don't think. Even leveling Bellower and putting gear on Bellower. If we look at my champions now, you can see like I've got Biggin in some gear, right? I think he doesn't quite have 100% crit rate because I noticed a lot of non-critical hits, which is kind of counterintuitive for his ability because that second time hits hard. I loved pairing him up with Skull Crusher because I was getting so many counterattacks and I was just eliminating teams with counterattacks. But yeah, I was just trying to lazily get through it rather than just build these champions, right? Build these champions, put some gear on them, and it only took me a couple days. I was able to go back through and get a bunch of 3 stars on things that I had 2 stars on, and then today I hit 19, 20, and 21 here, and over on the Undead Horde, I did 18, 19, 20, and 21. So you can see the times are long. These aren't, good runs. These are just, well, truthfully, stage 20, I can do on auto, but I didn't want to risk it, right? You don't want to take that risk and do it on auto and have somebody die, but you still succeed, and then you're out 4 keys when you could have made sure, like, oh shoot, someone died, start it over, right? So when you're going for the stars, do a manual. I have a big recommendation for that. That's going to help you complete the level and make sure that you get all of those stars in case you make a mistake along the way. But once you get those stars, throw it on auto. If somebody accidentally dies, no big deal. Yeah, and I did the same thing for my undead as well. If I sort by undead here, if I can find them, you'll see I actually rebuilt my Ultimate Death Knight. I put speed on him. Now, I understand that the build I've had on Ultimate Death Knight is quite antiquated. Nobody really runs the 0 speed Ultimate Death Knight anymore, but I had not rebuilt him to kind of fit that new strategy. So I did now. I put speed boots on him and I upped everything because he's a great support. He was bringing my shield and healing to prevent the final boss from one-shotting anybody on my team, which was awesome. Didn't mean to X out of that. Obviously, Fabian is somebody that I've had geared for actually very recently, to be honest with you, but still, he's a good champion. But then I still have a level 50 Saito, again, in a real build. In fact, Saito is one of the reasons that I don't quite have my Biggin built well, because I built Saito before Biggin. I've got Suzerain in, as my debuffer, placing not the somewhat good, kind of similar to Lydia debuffs. But then the big thing I did tonight was rebuild my Husk. So my Husk was in crit rate gloves. He was in 5-star boots, no crit damage neck. I rebuilt my Husk because the boss was difficult. I rebuilt my Husk to have 100% crit rate without crit rate gloves and have that extra crit damage. So 223 isn't anything to be like, oh my god, Roadblock, that's such great crit damage. No, it's not, but it's good enough. And look, I mean, I've just got a bunch of 12, plus 12 pieces of gear. Like, I didn't have to go all out for this. It's a lot easier than you may be thinking. And sometimes you can kind of get beaten down early in Faction Wars and kind of put it out of your mind and say, I don't care about that. But these days, getting Lydia is incredibly important. And to put things in perspective of how far behind I am, shout out to Bront, we just did a collab. He has Lydia on the free-to-play that he started less than a year ago for the Hell Hades challenge. And I'm only saying it's less than a year because we haven't done a new challenge yet, but I don't remember when that time. Regardless, he got Lydia before this account, which has existed for years at this point. That's awesome for him. That's really good by Bront. Love Bront. Very knowledgeable player in Raid Shadow Legends. But It just represents how much I've been putting this off and how lazy I've been about it. So please don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes, because Lydia is going to change everything. And I hope that I will be able to demonstrate that to you guys over the next couple of weeks as I get her built and progress with her. And don't yell at me too much about my energy stockpile. I've been very focused on faction wars, and I don't spend energy there. So that energy is going to get burned off on something today before I go to bed in 5 minutes after I'm done talking. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, please, please, please consider subscribing. That is the best way to support my channel. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Take care.